Well, we start with Betty Kyallo. Now, the most unfortunate thing that has happened, I think, in this very difficult time of post-COVID, stroke tax increases, stroke everything being super expensive. Like you go to the shop and something you used to buy for 200, says in 450. Oh my God, why have you forsaken us? Unaenda kuwakisha hivi TV, unaona tokens zimeisha kama 50. Uko like, my goodness, why is electricity so expensive? And unfortunately, a lot of businesses have actually shut down because of the high prices of literally everything. Not just your products, but your electricity and your utilities. Rent has also gone high because a lot of landlords have increased their rent. In fact, so much so that some of them are claiming that they want to start charging people rent in dollars. So basically, it's kind of a crazy situation for everybody right now. But Betty and Flair by Betty, which is her brand, her salon stroke barbershop, she has had a very interesting getting into the industry during the peak hours. You know, when everybody wanted to go to a luxury salon, when everybody was okay with spending a bunch of money as long as it was like associated with luxury and whatever. And so Flair by Betty was her project and she was happy about it and she opened it. But unfortunately, a sad thing has happened to her, and I know you've seen the news already. Rumors started coming up that she's getting auctioned. Her shop is getting auctioned. Stuff is being sold because she had a rent arrears. And the stories went on about how she's not been able to pay rent for a few months. And so they came up to take up the auctioneers came up to take like all the stuff to recoup the money. I think on behalf of the landlord. I'm not quite sure what the story is. Anyway, long story short, the rumors were circulating and Betty was quiet for a while. But she's actually come out and said that she wanted to speak her piece. And this is what she said. She said that apparently she just wants peace. Her own words were, she's tired, she has decided to let go, and that is what she's going to do. She's going to let go of Flair by Betty. And this absolutely means that she's no longer going to be associated with the brand, or at least she's going to close shop, or she has closed shop up until that moment. And a lot of netizens went online and they're like, ha ha ha, look at you failing, ha ha ha, look at your life crumbling. And a lot more people were like, why are you like this? We had a few people who actually came to encourage Betty Kyallo on social media, with people like Tara Turf saying, as an entrepreneur, no one should have a laugh at this. It's tough for businesses to survive right now. I understand what Betty is going through right now. A lot of businesses have had to shut down. Other people saying, as much as a business environment is not okay, landlords peer, they are not considerate. The reason of even having kibandas scattered everywhere is because most of the rent is really, really high. And if you want to get like a small space, you'll find like 45,000 for space. A lot of people saying pole sana Betty, kufanya biashara hii Kenya saizi ni noma sana. And I completely agree with what everyone is saying, including Francis Gaido, who said we need more people speaking about Nairobi's extortionary or extortionate rental costs and the hostile business environment collapsing under the weight of inflated electricity costs, and Betty Kyallo's salons are power operated or power dependent. Otherwise, it is only a matter of time before everyone's shop goes down, which I agree with. Like, if you think about the fact that if your business is cooking, you need power, right? If you think about if you're making even chipos and you have a nice shop, a nice cafe, you open your shop and you realize you need a lot of power to run this place. You also need to buy products like your food, your flowers, your oils, and everything has gone up really, really high. If you're selling beauty products, I swear it is crazy expensive. I was yesterday trying to buy something at an electronic shop where I used to buy things. I've been buying things from that shop for a long time. And I was talking to this guy, I'm like, hey bro, simpatia ka discount hata kama ni kamia mbili ya kunirudisha kwetu. And he's just like, I wish I could explain what the situation is right now, because the problem is, one, we bought stock when the dollar was really high at like 160 shillings. Now the dollar has gone all the way low. We've lost like what, 20-30 shillings from the dollar going down, right? Now the problem is the taxes on these things were exorbitant, and we can't be able to afford to reduce that markup because lazima tuongeze you on the cost of the item. And then ultimately now we're at a point where it's really difficult, because I have to keep selling you these products at the same prices that I used to sell them to you before, but I am making losses because the prices have completely changed. Now I have to sell all my stock before I even decide to buy any more products in order for me to sell. So kama haiko, by the ukikosa umekosa. And I didn't think about it until that moment. I'm like, yeah, by the way, it's really difficult for businesses right now. People are really going through it. You are looking for one thing, umetafta shops kama kumi, you can't find it. Why? People are not buying products. People are not importing anymore. It's very expensive. And when you had imported at 160, ikifika kwako at 130, unashindwa, where am I going to start? Surely, am I going to increase prices for everything? So please understand, as you're buying things and as you're complaining about prices of things, please understand that business people are also going through a lot. It's crazy out here. What are your thoughts? Do you have a small biashara or a big biashara? What have your experiences been during this very tough economical time? Let us know. 0770-729-366.
I think at the end of the day, it's so malicious for you to laugh at somebody because they tried something.
Yeah.
They tried and failed, well and good. And it's not like she failed because she has opened a barbershop at Upper Hill,
yeah, she does
which
have a
seems to be doing well or better than the luxury salon that was doing.
Yeah.
So just laughing at her and clowning her on the internet, it really, really does not make sense. She made millions off of the place before it was actually auctioned, and being auctioned is such a traumatic experience.
It really is.
I don't know if you guys have ever gone through it, but it's the most traumatic thing you could ever go through. I think the people who are usually in charge of auctioning are usually just evil people.
Yeah.
The most heartless people. Exactly.
Energy.
They will do everything to embarrass you, including even putting it in the newspapers, because how else did people know, how things were being auctioned? If you are auctioning things for salon, ungeenda tu vizuri useme I'm auctioning things for a salon. But to go and even attach her name to it just to bring some clout and make sure, people are evil, people are wicked. But at the end of the day, she tried. She made her millions off of it, and if it's the end of Flair by Betty, well and good. She has a makeup line. She has all of these things going on. So why would you sit there and laugh at her? Really, what have you done? Show us what you've done and what you're successful at before you start pointing fingers at others.